Hello.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. We're going to start in about another 14 minutes or so. So if you want to get your coffee or kind of settle in, you're more than welcome. We have a few others joining us. Good morning, good afternoon.
Hi, I know I'm a little early.
No worries. We're going to allow others to join. So if you want to get your coffee or your tea, and we'll start just a couple minutes after the top of the hour.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome.
Hey, Odell.
Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to get started shortly. Want to give others a chance to join. So about a couple minutes, we'll get started.
No problem.
Testing.
Yes, sir. We hear you. Welcome.
Excellent. Thank you.
Sir.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon to some of you and good evening as well. We'll get started in about another minute. I want to allow others to join and enable their mics. So thanks for your patience. We'll get started in another minute.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Welcome. Again, welcome. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're going to get started shortly, just allowing others to join. Thanks for your patience. And you can mute your mics and enable them when you're ready to speak. That's awesome for me. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning and welcome. All right, let's get started here. So good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're calling in from, welcome. My name is Odell Gordon. I will be your trainer for this Sumo Fundamental Certification session. I am based out of the Midwest here, and it's balmy, but it's about 45 degrees. Hopefully, we'll see some sun sometime this week. I've been with Sumo Logic for a short period of time, but my background is within 30 years of IT. So I've played different roles, database administrator. I've been, of course, a technical trainer. I've been in DevOps as well. So my background stems around dealing with data, okay? I'm also joined here by my esteemed colleague, John Meredith. He'll be manning the chat for any questions that you type in, as well as the QA, okay? So again, this fundamental certification, let's get into it. So our agenda for today is to give you an overview, that 500-foot overview of Sumo Logic. Then I'll go into a demo to demonstrate some monitoring and troubleshooting. Then together, we're going to do some hands-on labs where we will view the collected data. We'll search and parse and analyze the data. With our analysis, we'll identify some trends. We'll monitor some critical events, create some dashboards, and add some alerts. So that's our goal today, okay? And one of our goals also is to take the certification test, which allows you to be certified in fundamentals. Once you take that certification exam and you pass it, of course, you can fill out a form to allow you to receive a $15 Uber Eats voucher. I'll put this link up later when we get into the actual certification, okay? But our goal here is to get you comfortable with the tool and allow you to get certified in it, okay? So let's take a look and see, how does Sumo Logic help me, okay? We're going to talk about data flows, and I'll do a demo, okay? So let's first take a look at this. I'm going to turn off my bandwidth too, so I can turn off this camera, so I can save a little bandwidth here. So let's talk about Sumo Logic's continuous intelligence platform. You'll often hear me refer to the CIP, meaning our platform environment, okay? Notice at the top of this screen here, you see 4 dashboards, okay? And as I mentioned, I worked in DevOps. And one of the things that I did was I came into the office often and I had to check on our systems. But when I checked on our systems, I had to log in to a Unix console. I had to issue some grep statements to look through the logs. So it was more of a manual process for me to identify if there was any issues, okay? Well, now I have something called Sumo Logic, which gives me a different perspective. For example, I could have an operational dashboard that would allow me to identify, are all my systems up? Is there any mean time or meaning time issues that I have to resolve? Are there other systems that health concerns that I need to be cognizant of? So again, this dashboard here, the operational dashboard, will allow me to glean that type of information, okay? From a security perspective, let's say we wanted to find out who's using the root access. Is a person logging in from multiple locations? That type of information I can glean from a security intelligence dashboard. A business intelligence dashboard allows me to find out what pages are customers frequently viewing. What are they ordering? We issued a marketing campaign 2 months ago. How successful was it? So I can glean information from that business intelligence dashboard. And then finally, a global intelligence dashboard would allow me to compare my business to other companies, observing my data worldwide. So what I just described was 4 examples of dashboards that you can build within the CIP platform. Now, using your data to extract insights. Your data comes from logs, metrics, event data, traces, all types of telemetry. Okay. This comes from apps that you may have, such as microservices, cloud systems. It may even be a SaaS service that your data is residing on. Okay. Now, our application, and I'm on the 3rd tier of this here slide. Our analytics is a multi-tenancy environment where your information is secure. One of our mottos is we're in it with our customers. And what we mean by that is we're a cloud-based security environment. So we want our environment to be secure as well as your data. Okay. If you need to scale up, we will meet your needs. If you need to scale out, we'll meet your needs. Okay. If you have APIs, application programming interfaces, we allow you to do that as well. You're going to notice there's some advanced analytics in our tool. And finally, you see over here to the right, this here security, and you see the flyout window. These are our attestments. We take our attestments very serious. All of our attestments are up to date. We're FedRAMP certified. We're HIPAA certified, SOC 2 certified. Again, we take our attestments very serious here. And then finally, down at the bottom here, your people. What we mean by that is you can achieve continuous collaboration across all lines of your business. You have a single source to facilitate, collaborate, decision-making. So this environment can be shared with others throughout your company. Okay. Now, I'm going to digress for a moment and give you a demo that then come back to these slides. So just bear with me. So as I mentioned earlier, each morning I would come into the office and I would look at my logs. Okay. In this environment, what we've done here is we set up a Slack alert for our environment. I'm actually looking at my Slack alert environment. I see that my production has an alert. So one of the things that I can do here is I can click on my Go Operational Overview that would invoke the CIP platform. What do you mean, Odell? So I come into the office, I see that my prod alerts just issue alert for me. So when I come into my Go Operational, I click on that. That launches the actual Sumo Logic environment. I'm going to log in because I didn't log in prior and demonstrate to you what that leads to. If I correct my password, pardon me, just changed it. All right, now, so I mentioned we had an alert. We set that alert up. When I clicked on that icon, it brought me to this dashboard. Let me go back to kind of demonstrate again. So I come into the office and I clicked on my prod 9, my production environment, okay? I noticed that there's an issue here, so I'm gonna launch my Go Operational Overview. When I launch that, it opens up Sumo Logic, which is actually a dashboard that was created to give me more information. So on this dashboard, I see several panels here. I'm seeing a panel that talks about my service nodes. Now remember, green is good, yellow is a warning, and red is not good at all. So we see that we have some elastic load issues. Our VPC flows are good. Database is good. So we see some good, but we also see some red. Now, the company that we're simulating here is a travel company. This travel company allows you to book your travel. So if you want to book your hotel, your airfare, car rentals, you would go through this here Travel Logic tool set. What we have here is a dashboard that's monitoring that Travel Logic environment. We notice that our checkout service is in red. It has errors, okay? So again, that's the first step, getting alerted that there's a problem, okay? Our checkout service has over 6-point errors. So we want to find out more about our checkout service. One of the things that you can do in our tool is you can build a drill capability. So for example, I'm going to drill or click on my checkout service. Notice I'm now in my service details. Now I could go back to my actual Slack. Notice there's a go to service detail. So I'm demonstrating multiple ways to achieve the same goal. I could set up a Slack alert or any type of alert you can set up, or I can go into my tool and go to my actual production environment, go to my production folder, go to operations, and I can open up my operational overview, okay? Or I can open up my service details. Now, on this service detail, which is a dashboard that we drilled into, we found out more information. So how our bookings are going. So you take a look here, everything is green and golden, and then all of a sudden, we're starting to get messages. We had over 160 messages and so forth, okay? Other examples of how these dashboards can help you glean information is they're interactive. What do you mean, Odell? I mean, I can turn off my successes. Now I'm only seeing my failures, okay? So these legends allow you to be interactive, okay? I can see I had errors the last 7 days. I can see the spikes. I can see the error nodes. And I can also see the latencies, okay? I also see my CPU and total memory. Now, again, just to kind of paint the picture of what I'm doing, I'm demonstrating the company that I work for, Travel Logic. We set up a monitoring system, Slack, where we would get alerted for any issues. We clicked on one of our Slack items. It brought us to a dashboard. We were able to drill down into that dashboard. Now, we're looking at our CPU and total memory. We'd like to see the underlining query for this dashboard. Now, I want you to follow my methodology here as well, okay? There's an underlining query for this panel on this dashboard. That's what we're going to end up building, okay? So what I'm going to do now is look at the underlining query. How would I get there? Well, I can click right in the top corner here, this icon, it says show in metrics. So once I click on that, it now takes me inside of the CPU and total memory metric. What you'll notice at the top of the screen is a heat map. So as things start, as we get more errors, we get darker. As we get less errors, we get lighter, okay? And this is on a minute by minute basis. What you see below here is the actual makeup of this expression. You see that we're monitoring our CPU and our memory. How was this actually gleaned? Down here is the actual expression, the query, okay? So again, we were able to launch from our we were able to drill in from our master dashboard into a more detailed dashboard. Then we were able to find out a specific query for a panel, which led us into where we are now, okay? Now, if we want to see the underlying query, we can click on one of the heat map. And the technique here is I'm holding down my shift key and clicking on my left mouse. That's going to go ahead and launch the actual query. So let's talk about this for a second, and we're going to get more detailed about it, but I want you to see what's going on here. So I'm using a metadata tag called source category. I am equating that to a directory location where my log resides, and I'm using keywords, errors or exceptions, okay? And I'll go ahead and change my time here. So when I run this here, I'm running it for the last 60 minutes, and we'll talk about time later. I'm seeing the actual status is done gathering results. I'm seeing the elapsed time and the total results. If you need be, your session ID is here as well. I see a messages tab, which shows our display fields, okay? I now see over to the right, the time the incident happened, as well as the message, okay? There are 255 pages. Now, one of the machine learning techniques that we could utilize is this log reduce. We want to find that needle in the haystack. So when I click on that log reduce, it's going to go through and reduce for errors and exceptions, okay? Now, let me show you what else you can do here. I'm going to erase and not look for errors and exceptions. I'm just going to look for all of my messages. So I'm going to run that again for all of my messages. I don't just want to see errors and exceptions. So if you notice the difference now, the elapsed time, before when I was looking at errors and exceptions, my numbers were much smaller. But now I'm looking at all of my messages, okay? Notice I still have the time and the message that are being displayed, the time it happened. But notice now that I have over 1,104 pages. So what you've gleaned from the two examples is when I use that keyword, it filters down for me. That's going to be very important for you later when we get into building our actual queries. Now, as I was mentioning, I could use the log reduce, which is going to sift through all of these 1,104 pages and find that needle in the haystack for me. This is some of that machine learning that we talked about at the very beginning. We'll give it a time to crunch everything up. And what you're going to notice here is the tool is actually going through all of those logs and it's saying, Odell, this might not say Odell, it says, Odell, I see this expression here over 7,000 times. Now you'll see the asterisks, those are probably different values for each one of these. So that's why those asterisks are there. But again, as I go through, it says, Odell, you have this expression over 10,000 times. You have this over 3,000 times. Again, our goal here is to find out why something happened, okay? Now, one of the other techniques you could do here is you could change your column header just by the sort order, just by clicking on the column. You're going to learn also that you can change it by adding some code to your query as well. So what I've done is I clicked on the count, so I changed the sort order. And I'm going to go through here and I see a lot of these messages are just informational messages. And I'm looking for that needle in the haystack. And as I scroll through here, again, I see more informational messages. Go to my next page. And again, I'm looking for that needle in the haystack, and I'll be able to get to it. Let's go here and right here. You notice here, this needle, it says, let me scroll up a little bit. It says info boot 27, travel logic, starting cluster, service, checkout, version 1.14 dev. Can anyone see an issue there? What do you think? What do you think the issue is there?
Server went down sometime.
Yeah, but what environment are we in?
That's the dev environment, but we're looking at prod. So maybe
Awesome.
something was released into prod that should be in dev.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Hopefully you all glean that information because again, remember, we talked about a production environment, but we see that someone promoted a dev in our production. All right, again, hopefully you gathered that insight. Let's get back to the slides here. So my example, my demo was to identify notification of a critical event. What we set up was a Slack notification. Let's say you're not using Slack. Let's say you're using PagerDuty, or you're using some type of ServiceNow, another type of alert system, okay? Or maybe you want to create a webhook that'll attach to your alert system. But anyhow, we want to get notified of that critical event. Once we get notified, we can look at our metrics. And that's what I did. I opened up an actual metric for my CPU in my memory. That told me that there's something going on. Then I was able to query my logs, and I did a search through my logs to identify what happened, okay? So that's the actual process flow that I went through. Now, the data flow is what we're going to start describing. So that was a great demo on what you can do, Odell. Now let's talk about getting our data into Sumo Logic, okay? There's a 3-step data flow process. We want to collect your data. Well, how do you collect our data, Odell? We utilized a collector. A collector is essentially a Java object that actually compresses, encrypts, and sends your data. So a collector is the vehicle that moves your data into our environment, okay? The collector has the ability for you to define your sources, okay? So that vehicle has your data, your sources in it, and it's transported up into Sumo Logic. Once we have your data, we're now going to allow you to search and analyzing using operators and displaying your environment in charts. Different types of chart displays are available as well. You also have the ability to visualize and monitor, which you just saw me do in my Slack notification, where I set up alerts and I looked at my dashboard. That's the flow that we're going to follow. Now, if you're interested in learning more about data collectors, we have an administration course that you should probably take as well. Okay, now I'm talking about that vehicle that gets your data into our environment. There's 2 types of vehicles. I know this slide looks sort of busy, but let's think about it from this perspective. There's 2 halves. There's an installed collector half, and there's a hosted collector half. Here is our cloud-based Sumo Logic environment. The goal is for you to get your logs, your metrics into our environment, okay? Now, one approach, if we use install collectors, if your logs, your metrics are on a server, then maybe you want to install a collector on each server. That's a possibility, okay, where it's capturing that information. It goes through the firewall and sends it into Sumo Logic. Maybe you want to use a different approach. where you want to have a centralized collector that's receiving your logs, your metrics, and then it in turn sends through the firewall up to Sumo Logic. So the install collector is where you have to install it on a server, a distributed environment, or on a single server environment. The other approach is a hosted collector. If your logs, your metrics, your environments are on AWS, Azure, or SaaS, again, there's no installation. You need to just tell us the rights to get to your data and where it's located. Okay, so again, no install. It's a cloud to cloud based collector. Again, speaking of collectors, here you're seeing a set of metadata tags. Okay, these are the collectors that allow us to describe your data. For example, there's a underscore collector. You may define that as your host name. Now that's a broader definition, trying to get to some logs or some metrics, but you could do that. You could use an underscore collector as one of your description items. Now, essentially, a collector is a tag given to a description. Another example of a metadata tag is the source underscore source name collector, where you would define the path of the log file and the name. Okay, that's a different approach as well. You could utilize that type of collector. Okay, but you'll notice the bold one at the bottom, the underscore source category collector. That's our best practice. That's the one that we'll use most often. Okay, that's our preferred method. This one can be freely configured. For example, we could equate our source category to Labs Apache Access, as opposed to Labs Apache Era, or maybe we want prod Apache Access, or what have you. So we can freely configure that metadata tag to describe where our logs or our metrics are. That's the one that we'll use. All right. What I'd like for you to do right now is think of a 3-digit number from 1 to 999, whatever 3-digit number you want, okay? I don't want you to log in yet. I want you to watch me, okay? And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna paste in this information, but I want you to watch me log in first. You're gonna think of that 3-digit number, and that 3-digit, thank you, John. John's on top of things, I love it. That 3-digit number will allow you to get into our training environment. Everyone here is logging into our training environment. We have all of the data and the examples available, so that's why we're utilizing our training environment, okay? Now, once you think of that 3-digit number, go ahead and add it into the chat window so we can see the number and keep track of that number. Again, don't log in yet. I want to demonstrate how you would log in. Thank you for adding your numbers. Any 3-digit number will work. So eventually you're going to go into and you're going to type in the actual credentials. You're going to open up a browser, okay? And just as I'm doing, you're going to go ahead and type in service.sumologic.com, okay? Once you type that in, you'll then type in, again, the credentials. We'll go with, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Everybody's putting their number in there. All right, so we're going to go with training, the plus symbol, analyst. You'll put in your 3-digit number. Okay. You'll put the ad symbol, sumologic.com, and then the password of course, I'll show it to you in 1 second because I fat finger it sometimes. It's going to be learning 22. Okay, and if I spell it correctly, that would help. That's why I love that item. right now. And this is what you should be. You should be on our CIP platform. So everyone go ahead and log in and confirm that you've logged in, please. I want to make sure everyone's able to log in. If you're having any problems logging in, please feel free to put your issue in the chat. John is manning the chat for me. Want to make sure everyone's in so we don't leave anyone. If there's a few that have the same number, no worries. You could use another number if you like. Yep, here's the password. Let me put that back up there for you. All right, looks like a lot of you are in. That's getting great to know. Thank you so much. All right. All right, very good, very good. Everyone's logging in, awesome. Nick, what's wrong? Why can't we get you to get in and do the demo? All right, I see a few of us are having challenges. John is going to help us. So let us know what your issue is.
Hey folks, this is John. Number one, make sure you log into service.sumologic.com. You want to log into our training environment. Odell, just so you know, you're showing the demo environment right now.
Yeah.
But make sure you log into service because that's an environment that we can control. We know we have the data, that sort of thing. If you try to do these exercises on your company's environment, we don't know what data you have. You probably don't have the data we want to talk about. That's why I want you to log into service.sumologic.com. Okay. And then if you're having problems, please let me know what the error message is, and I will gladly. Okay, Felipe, you said credentials, please verify. That means you typed something in wrong. So I'm going to assume that you typed in training plus analyst with a 3-digit number at sumologic.com as the email. And then the password is a capital LEARNING 22 exclamation mark. Don't forget the exclamation mark. And don't forget to replace those hashtags with your 3-digit number. David, understand you're in now. Congratulations. Good job. Good job. Sean, it says the account was locked. You need to wait 15 minutes. You could, or you can change your number. Take number 985 if you want. So try that one.
John, what was 985 represents?
985 for me is the USS Cushing, one of the ships I was on in my Navy career.
Awesome. Thank you for your service.
No sweat. So Sean, like I said, change your number. David, you're in now. Excellent. Felipe, I got a nope. I'm not sure. I realized that nope was a response to my question. So I'm not sure what you're trying to tell me here, Felipe. Okay. And Sean, you took 135. Outstanding. That's good. You're good. Outstanding, Sean. So we don't want to leave anybody behind here, guys. So we want to make sure you all get logged in, and I'll gladly work with you to try to help you out, make sure we're all good to go. Okay. Felipe, okay, good. You logged in as training plus analyst 777 at sumologic.com. That username looks great. And the password again is learning 22 exclamation mark with a capital L. And Odell just pasted it in there, okay? The 3-digit number, you can try any 3-digit number that you want. Benka, try whatever you want. So Peter, you're in it with 126. That's great. Excellent. But yeah, Panek, you need any 3-digit number. Felipe, you're in. Outstanding. Okay. Okay. Todd, if you and Sean are in the same number, it's not a big deal because when we save things, you're going to append your initials to them. So you guys won't have any real conflict. 1 or 2 people logged in with the same account's not a big deal. 15, 30, that's a big deal. So that's why we're trying to do that. So looks like we're all getting resolved here. Anybody else have any problems? So I can be quiet and let Odell continue.
All right, looks good. Thank you, sir. All right, so let me first sort of give you, let's kick the tires. Let's drive the car around the block. Let's look under the hood. Let's roll the window down. So let's just kind of get comfortable with the environment. So first of all, if your environment looks similar to mine, where I see these 3 lines or a hamburger here, and I see a bunch of tabs open, okay? What you can do to close those tabs is you can click on the 3 dots of any one of those tabs and close all tabs. So again, if your environment had a bunch of tabs open because maybe other environments used it, you can close those tabs, okay? Over to the left here, you'll see, as I mentioned, the stack of pancakes. That enables our actual navigation system. So if you click on that, you should now see our navigation panel over to the left, okay? Now, in the navigation panel, there's 4 icons. Each one of these icons has bubble help. You can see your recents folder, things that you recently opened. You can see your favorites folder, things that you have favorited. You can see your personal folder, things that you've saved, okay? And then you can see your library folder, things that have been shared with you throughout your company, okay? If you ever need to search for something, you can always click in the search. Again, you can filter down. Also, you can actually use criteria that will get you to that searched item, okay? Now, if I wanted to favorite something, you're just watching, I click on the asterisk. Now, this apps folder will now be in my favorites folder. If I wanted to remove it, it's as simple as clicking on it and removing it, okay? Our main menu, down to the left here, this dark shaded area is our main menu. If you ever had to log out of the Sumo Logic environment, you would click on your name and sign out in the main menu, okay? Over to the right of the navigation panel, you'll see 3 tabs. You'll see your home tab, your actual library tab, and your alerts tab. We're gonna spend our time on the home tab. On the home tab, you have 3 links. You have your home link, okay? You have your learn link. Let me pause there for a second. Right. So on my learn link, you have micro lesson videos. So if you want to learn about data collecting strategies, built-in metadata and keywords, you can look at one of our quick start videos. Down below the quick start videos, you'll see our hands-on labs for our fundamentals. This is what we're going to be using. If you come back and take our hands-on labs, you can use the administration hands-on lab. Or if you take a self-service, you'll be using these steps for your administration labs. Over to the right, we have a cheat sheet. Cheat sheet will allow you to see some of those operators that you use in building your queries. When I launched the cheat sheet, it launched a new tab. I'm going to close that tab so I can get back to the CIP. I'm looking at the 6 icons in the bottom right corner of my Home tab, Learn link. Documentation. If you click on the documentation, it takes you to our documentation environment. So for example, if you want to find out the labs, you can start here and go to our quick start labs and tutorials. Okay. Closing that tab, you have what's new. It's a good practice to find out what's coming down the line. You can always ask our support. Let's say you're interested in learning more. You want to open up our LMS system by clicking on Get Training. Here, you'll see our upcoming training calendar. So we have another session for fundamentals. Okay, we have some search mastery that's going to help you build and master those queries. Okay, and you can just easily register. And then over to the right, your community. This is where other Sumo users share, ask questions, find out more information. Okay. So again, we're kicking the tires of this environment, just trying to get comfortable with the lay of the land. Okay. Right, now let's get back here.
Hey, Odell,
Yes, sir.
a question was asked about where they can find the slides. So if you
Okay.
could show them
very
that.
good. Yeah, I will show you that. So one method of getting to the slides is I can go to community. I'm going to my help community. And oh no, let's go another way. Here, wait, let me show you. I'm gonna just paste in our slides here. Just give me 1 second here. So I paste in the information there.
Odell? No.
Yeah.
Okay, you can do it that way. The problem is they can't download the slides that way, right? So do me a favor, go into our certification area and show them the slides that way.
Okay.
Thanks.
So here I'm in Get Certified. So I'm on the Home tab on the certification link. I'm going to click on Get Certified. So here I'm seeing my live training or Get Certified here. When I go into live training, fundamentals, I'll register, takes a second. And here you will find.
All right, why don't we go ahead and get started here? No, it looks like
You'll find our fundamentals and search engines. Now you're logged in as training. Will they be able to do that, John?
They will in the training, yes, yes.
Okay.
They'll also be able to see it when they log into their own environments.
Yeah.
And with their credentials, yeah, both ways.
Sounds good. So hopefully that met your needs. So I posted one method. Here's another method as well. All right. On the Learn Sumo Logic site, you're only seeing 3 widgets. Okay, let's go back here. You're welcome, Phyllis. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. All right, William, what's your issue here?
So if you click on, what was it? Get certified, when I go to that page, you actually display like 5, I guess boxes. Mine is only 3.
Right, yeah, I'm logged in as myself, so I have more. You're
Yeah.
logged in our training environment. So once you log in, in your environment, you'll see more.
Yeah, William and all, if you log in through your company's environment with your credentials, you'll see all these tabs. But we turn some of them off because we don't want somebody with a training analyst account to take the certification exam. We don't want you to take self-paced courses with that. We want to track who's taking those courses so we can see who's by name, who's doing things. So hopefully that makes sense to you, and that's why you're not seeing what you're seeing.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for asking.
Very good. All right, so I hope that's all the questions. Let's get back to our actual slides here. All right, so what we're about to do is we're about to get into the labs now, okay? We've already logged into the environment. We're gonna look and find out about our collectors, okay? So together here, let's go ahead and if you put in your email there, Felipe, and John will send it to you that way if you're not able to copy, okay? John, will you handle that one for Felipe for me, please?
Felipe, is the problem you can't copy and paste? Is that the issue, sir? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John. All right, so back here together, let's get in the lab. So we're gonna utilize by going to our learn and go down to our view data. So let's click on lab number 1. I'll put this in the chat in case you can't get to it. Again, we're going to utilize lab number 1. Now, one of the things you can do here is you can right click on this tab and you can pin it, okay? So since we're going to be toggling between our environment and the labs, you'll have that ability to easily click in between those two. If you want to do that in a Windows environment or in your Windows environment. All right. We've all signed in. We now want to see what data is available, okay? So we're doing this together. Make sure your navigation panel is visible. If it's not, click on the 3 stacks of pancakes. Now you have your navigation panel, okay? We want to go down to our main menu. We want to see the collectors that were defined, okay? So we click on our manage data main menu item. It has some sublinks. Let's click on our collection, okay? Let's review what we're seeing here. So we're looking at the collections. We could search for a collector. Right now, all of our collectors are expanded. You'll see all. Right to the right of all, you'll see none. That collapses our collector names, okay? Now, let's take a look here. If we were to expand, let's say we expanded our observability, AWS observability collector. What we're seeing is green, meaning it's healthy. We see the type of collector is hosted. We see the number of defined sources. We see that there's some activity in the last hour. We see there was over 10,000 messages ingested. Underneath the collector name, we see the actual source categories. Remember, we talked about that metadata tag? So we set one to our observability, our LB, our logs, our cloud trail, our cloud watch, and so forth. So these 6 source categories have been defined using this collector. So if your question was, Odell, could I have more than one source category defined? The answer is yes, okay? Now, we see that there's a hosted type of collector. Does anyone remember the other type of collector?
Installed.
I didn't hear you.
Installed.
Excellent, very good. So again, installed would be the other type, okay? All right. All right, so again, the question is, how do I get to collection? So make sure you have your navigation panel open. You're looking at your main menu over to the left, the darker shaded area. You're clicking on Manage Data. You're clicking on Collection. Hopefully that helps you. Again, once you click on Collection to minimize what you're viewing, you can click on the None, and that collapses your items. You're welcome. All right, very good. All right, let's go back to our lab here. So you viewed the collectors to see what sources and log metrics have been defined. Okay. Next, we want to issue a search within our tool. So if you could go ahead and in your actual lab steps under number 4, just go ahead and highlight and copy that. You can type it as well. I'm just trying to save you from having to type. Under number 4, if you copy that actual query, and let's go back to the environment. Now, I want you to understand the actual layout. Right now, when we clicked on collection, it opened up a tab for us. We can close that tab. We no longer need that tab, so we can close it by clicking on the X. Okay. Now we see our home, our actual library, and our alerts. We see a blue new button there. Let's click on that new button. We want to create a new log search. Okay. It now displays an area to display, to place your query or create your query. Now notice, if I were to type that expression, notice, excuse me, I started out with a underscore. It starts to give me some of those metadata tags, okay? So I could actually type or start clicking and it will populate for me, or you can just paste it like we've done, okay? So what we're saying here is all of my source categories, I want you to count, okay? And we're gonna, by default, each query is going to run in the last 15 minutes. You have the ability to change that by choosing some of the relative times, or you can manually type in there by using a minus symbol. And let's say I wanted to do the last 45 minutes, I could use M for minutes, H for hours, or D for days. If I wanted to use a specific date, I can click on custom and choose that date, time, or range. Okay, so again, I'm just going to go ahead and choose 60 minutes and run this query. All right, so the query runs. What we want to keep in mind is the status. Right now it reads processing. Probably put, now it reads done. So I know my query has completed now, okay? If you look at the elapsed time and then the number of results, okay? Notice underneath that you see your messages tab. Again, you see your field browser here where it has your display fields, okay? Over you see the time it happened and the actual message. Now, because we used a count operator, it's going to invoke an aggregates tab. So count, sum, min, max, any one of those is going to issue an aggregates tab, okay? And here we can see all of the actual count of the items for each source category. Okay, questions? Yeah, when you're talking about, Henry, if you're talking about the time, yes, you need to have that minus symbol unless you're using the actual date, okay? So if you're using custom, let's say 8, and that time period, notice there's no minus symbol. But if you're hard coding that, let's say hours, minutes, you want to use that minus symbol, okay? Hope that helps answer your question. You're welcome. All right, so let's get back to our labs here. All right, so next here, let's suppose that we're interested in log messages from our Apache Access, which is listed as a source category. We can now start creating queries to find these messages, okay? Someone else in our organization might have shared a saved search or a dashboard for Apache Access, okay? Or if no one has installed it, we can install it ourselves. So we're gonna go over 2 approaches here. We're gonna look at if someone shared the Apache Access dashboard, and we're going to actually download that app. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna take a break shortly. So hang in there with me. So what we want to do is make sure you're in the environment. You can close that search tab, okay? And let's go ahead and we're going to click on our library tab. All right, and we're going to go ahead and search for Apache Access, okay? Oh, just looking at the question there. All right, so you can just type in here in the search, Apache Access. Make sure you're on your library tab. Odell, is that case sensitive? No, it is case insensitive. You should see a folder that has Apache Access in it. Expand the folder and click on the dashboard. Now, I want you to start identifying the color scheme we have here as well. You can see this purple represents dashboard. The orange, sort of orange shade represents your queries. So again, we're clicking on the Apache overview dashboard that someone from the company shared with us. So we can see several dashboard panels, okay? We can see our requests per second, our uptime. If you scroll down towards the bottom, you'll see a visitor's location map that allows you to drill in by scrolling in and scrolling out or double clicking on that value, okay? So this was shared with us. This is one approach, okay? Now, let's install the same app. Let's say that the one that was shared, maybe it was altered a bit. Maybe someone updated or changed something. We want to get the pristine app, okay? So in Sumo Logic, go back over here with you. Let's go down in our main menu and click on our app catalog. Now, these are applications that have been created and available for you to consume, okay? So for example, in our search, we can type in Apache. It should filter down and we should see the Apache dashboard icon. Let's click on that. You'll notice that it gives you examples or previews of some of those dashboards, okay? To indicate, you know, what it's going to display for you, all right? We want to go ahead and add to our library. So let's click on that. And let's give it a name. Let's give it our initials. Let's call it underscore Apache, and I'll put my initials, and I'll go ahead and put today's date as well. Okay. Odell, what are we doing? Well, we saw an actual dashboard, but it looks like someone kind of tinkered with it. We want to go and get the clean one where no one has tinkered with it. So we're going into our app catalog and we're going to consume this particular dashboard. Now, we're not done here. Let's change from our source category to a custom data filter. So again, under the Apache log source, you're clicking the drop down arrow. We're going to designate a specific location. Now, you can capture this from under number 4 here. In your actual steps under number 4, we want that to read web server underscore system equals Apache. Now be aware, if you're copying, there's a period at the end of the sentence. We don't want the period, okay? Odell, can I type that as well? Yeah, but I'm just trying to save you from fat fingering it. So we're copying underscore web server underscore system equals Apache. And we'll go back to our environment, and right where it reads custom data filter, we'll paste it. And then add to library. Now, the question is, ladies and gentlemen, where would I find this new item? Where should I look for this new item that I just added?
In the library.
Is that your final answer? Okay. Very good, William. In your personal folder. Remember, when you save objects, it's going to save to your personal folder. Okay. So everyone can click on their personal folder. You should now see your Apache app folder. And if you click on the Apache overview, this dashboard looks a little different. Okay. It looks like things are a little bit more moved around or what have you. Okay. But again, you're seeing 2 different approaches. One, you can go to the library and search for if someone shared it with the company or with your environment, or you can go down into your Apache catalog and actually consume it. Okay. Very good. All right, now we've decided that, hey, this is the one we want. Let's share it with the company. So back in your environment, we want to share that particular item. So you're in your personal folder. I'm going to the item I'm just hovering over it. If I go over to the right of it, there's 3 dots. That's our more link. Go ahead and click on those 3 dots. We have the ability to share. Now, you can share with groups, roles, or individuals. So if you click in where it says share this content, you get a list of groups and roles as well as users. Okay, we're going to share it with our entire organization. So go ahead and click on your entire organization. When you click, it'll also allow you to choose specific roles. You don't have to do that. Okay. Be aware over to the right, the access is set to default view. You could change that to edit or manage. This is might be a question you might see somewhere. So view, edit, and manage is the access rights. Okay. You can go ahead and in the bottom, you can go ahead and click share. All right. Very good. Now, others in your organization will be able to see that Apache app when they select that folder, okay? Congratulations, everyone. You've completed the first part of the Sumo Logic tutorial. You signed into Sumo Logic. You searched for a source category to see what data was available. You searched for and you viewed a dashboard that's been shared by someone, and then you installed an app and shared it. Okay. All right. So if there aren't any questions, I think this will be a good time for us to take our first, our 5-minute break here. So I'll go ahead and put up the timer. And we'll see you in 5. Okay, welcome back. All right, hopefully you got a good stretch out of that. Again, you guys are doing awesome. Let's go ahead and continue on this journey. In the bottom right corner of our lab number 1, there's a link that leads us to lab number 2. So let's go ahead and click on the lab number 2, search for log data. All right, so we learned how to view the data that's been shared by someone in our organization, already included in the Sumo Logic environment. We're now going to show you how to issue a search, parse, and aggregate your log data, and then save those search results. So we're going to create a new query. All right, under number 2, let's go ahead and copy that expression. Let's go back to our CIP platform. If you have tabs open, let's go ahead and click on one of those 3 dots in the tab and close all tabs. We can always get back to those objects because we saved them. So there's no alarm there. Again, we want to create a new search. So let's click on the new button. It'll be a log search. And let's go ahead and paste in our query. Let's talk about this for a second. Remember, I described very early on in this course, the source category. That's that metadata tag, the recommended. That's what we're doing. We're utilizing that. We're equating that to where our logs is. It's in the labs Apache access. We're using the AND operator. It's optional. ANDs are optional, ORs are required. So if I didn't put the AND here, it would still work. We're also using a keyword. So we're telling the tool, hey, look in the labs Apache access log and look for all of the get messages, okay? And let's go ahead and run that for the last 60 minutes. So we want to change our time. Odell, I kind of forgot about the time. How does it work? If you click on the box, it gives you predefined times. If you want to type, you can use the minus symbol, your time range, and the correct letter, okay? So of course we said 60 minutes. I'll go ahead and choose that and click run. The blue button over to the right. Okay, now we see that it has completed the amount of time, the number of results. We see our messages tab, the display fields, and we see the time it happened. But notice, if we look here, we see that in our messages, we see the get is being highlighted. So it's telling us where it's getting this information from. You're also seeing a few other items such as the status code and the size. All right, very good. All right, next, we want to parse out information in those messages. Parsing makes search results much easier to scan and interpret. Let's parse the log message for the information that follows the get and build a new query. We're going to parse out to filter our URL, our status code, our size, and our referring web address, okay? So in order to do that, I want you to watch first and then do. So again, you have your messages I'm just going to look at the first message, okay? And I'm going to use the single quote as a anchor. So I'm starting to left mouse and highlight all the way over to the ending quote. So everyone go ahead and highlight in your first message. You're using the quotes as an anchor and the ending quotes as another anchor. Now, once that's highlighted, go ahead and right mouse click and choose the phrase parse selected text. What you're now seeing is the text that you highlighted. What we want the tool to do is parse out these items, okay? So let's go ahead and remember, we're going to start right after the get message. So I'll start here with the HTTP and the 1. Notice when I highlight that, there's a yellow phrase that pops up. Click to extract this value. Let's go ahead and click that. Notice it replaces that text with an asterisk. Down in our fields, we're going to go ahead and type URL, comma, because that asterisk represents the field URL. Yeah, your counts may be different based on the time that you ran it. Thanks, John is answering it as well. Okay. Next, let's highlight that numeric value. Minus 200, yours could be another one. So, but the numeric value you want to highlight. And let's go ahead and click to extract. All right. And we're going to call that, notice it replaced it. We're going to call that status underscore code. And one of the things you want to do when you're naming, it's a good idea. If you have spaces, use underscores. Okay. Next, you added your comma after the status code. Let's highlight the actual next numeric value and click to extract this. And we're going to name that size. Add a comma after that. Odell, why are we doing this? Well, again, if you remember the amount of pages that we had I have over 1,000 pages. I don't want to sift through all 1,000 pages. I want to utilize some of the features in the tool, specifically a parsing, where it's going to parse out those messages into fields. We're defining that now. Lastly, let's grab that last item. And notice it's highlighting HTTP all the way to the .com. I'm going to click to extract, and I will call that referring. So this is the referring website. Okay. And then go ahead and submit. No, this isn't that. Very good question, Thomas. Actually, is this the same as log reduce? No, log reduce finds that needle in the haystack sort of thing. And what we're about to do, if you take a look at our expression, we're parsing out and utilizing these name tags. So if we run this now, you're going to see not only do we have our time, but we also have the refer, the size, and the status code. Okay, notice over here in our display fields, we have time, refer, size, status code, URL, and messages. Remember, initially, we only had time and message. But once we added that parsing by using the pipe, that pipe is automatically added because it's saying continue on with the expression. Okay. All right, I got some questions. All right, so hopefully everyone got to this point. Let's go back over here. All right, so we extracted those fields. Oh, one question was, Odell, how come in your query it reads URL, status code, size, and refer, but in your column headers is refer, size, status code, and URL? The tool always results to alphabetical. So R is before S and so forth and so on. So it's alphabetically putting those in order. Good question. All right. Right, we ran that. All right, let's save this search. Okay. So let's go ahead back to our environment. And we're going to call this. So up in your query area over to the right, you have two abilities to save. You can either click on the icon to save it, or you can click on the 3 dots and save as. Either or works. Okay, we're going to name our saved search, and I'm just going to call this Apache status codes. Put your initials, please. I'll put my date here. So again, we're saving that search because we might want to utilize it again. Okay, you can obviously put a description here. You can see the actual query. It's going to save to your personal folder, as I tried to mention before. Okay. And let's click save. So notice the icon for a search, is that more of an orange item? Okay. All right. By default, remember, everything's going to be in your personal folder when you save it. You can select to use a different folder or create a folder if you'd like. So pat yourself on the back. You've completed the task 2 of the quick start user tutorial. We created a search. We parsed the message so they're easier to scan and interpret. And we saved our search. All right, in the bottom right corner, let's go ahead and chart our data. So let's click on lab number 3. So now we're going to build out our query using aggregation statements to count the results and to visualize our data by creating the chart. So suppose that we're wondering about our 404 errors. We know that's not good. We want to learn more about them. Are they happening at once? We can find out by adding aggregation statements to our query to help and group and order our data so that the results are much easier to read. Okay. So basically, we're going to add this one statement. So you go ahead and under number 1, let's copy that. Now I want to show you some techniques here. So before you run into it, let me demonstrate. So what we'd like to do is add another line. Now, you've probably done this already. If you hit the enter key, all it does is run the actual report. We want to add another line of code. So you're going to either use your shift enter or shift return. Place your cursor on the refer line where your refer is and use shift enter. That should get you another line. Okay. And then we can paste. So remember what we're doing initially, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to our labs Apache access, getting all of our, we're using a keyword to highlight our get message. We're parsing out our URL, status code, size, and refer. Now we're gonna count by our status code. And let's go ahead and run that. Remember when I did a count by early on, I mentioned that that aggregate is going to initiate an aggregates tab. That count, that measurement, count, sum, min, max, they're going to initiate that aggregates tab. Okay. Your numbers may be a little different, but again, the goal here is you're understanding that it's counting and you get their results. You have another tab, which is your initial messages tab. That's still there. Okay. All right. What do we got going on? All right. All right. So we saw the aggregates tab. your results, you may have way more than me. Again, the goal here is you're seeing the actual count aggregates. All right. All right, next, down in the next section here. Note, now let's find out when those status codes happen. We can use a time slice operator. Now, I want to just quickly digress. I can click on this time slice. It's going to open up the actual time slice operator and the definition. So be aware, you can easily go to those just by clicking on those items. I'm going to use the back button to get us back to where we were. Anyhow, I digressed. We now want to add under number 1, the pipe time slice 1 minute. Okay, we're going to copy that. All right. And let's go back. And again, we want to add this under our refer. So we can use place our cursor right where it reads refer, shift enter or shift return, and then paste. So again, what this reads now is I want my results to be in 1 minute increments, time slices. Okay. I'm going to change my count by, because not only do we want to count by our status code, we also want to count by our time slice. Okay. So I'm going to go back and grab this. I'm going to type it. You can type it as well. So again, not only are we counting by our status code, but we're going to also count by our time slice. And let me also talk about the look and feel of this. Notice that time slice is an operator, and we're using time slice to count by, but it has the underscore under it. That's a placeholder. Okay. So what it's doing is counting by whatever is in that actual placeholder. Okay. You can go ahead and run that. And you, as I mentioned, you have your aggregates tab, and what you're seeing is your status codes count minute by minute. Okay. Questions? How are we doing out there?
I actually got lost with some incident in live incident that's happening, but I kind of missed on the point where you can highlight and basically parse something. Click for more parse, selecting the URL and clicking it.
Okay, I'll show you that. No worries. Let me show you that real quickly.
Yeah, I got that. I got it at that point, but remember you were kind of making that stars and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to get back there real quickly. Thanks for your patience. So you highlighted this message.
Mm-hmm.
You right-clicked, parse selected. And again, the fields that we want are URL, status code, and
size and refer.
Yeah, so what we do here is we highlight this puppy here. You'll see the yellow phrase. Click on that. It replaces what you highlighted. You'll type in URL, comma. You'll highlight the next item, which is our status code. Click on that, and so forth. All right.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And then you'll again, yep, got it. All right, cool. Great. All right. So back here, ladies and gentlemen, let's see, we were on our aggregates tab. We saw the count minute by minute there. Let's see what other questions. No, time slice is not overriding anything. Good question. No, it's not overriding. It's just not in order here. That's the thing. We need to order this. So if we clicked on, let's say, time, we would see the column order. So it just retrieved it as what's in the data set. So again, you could change the order by clicking on the column header. Does that help, Shaitan? Great. There's also operators that you could use as well that could sort the time for you as well. All right, very good. All right, let's continue on. Now that we see our data, and let's go back, I want to kind of demonstrate that to you. I see my data, but I want to do comparisons. I want to analyze. I want to identify trends. It's hard to do that in a tabular, in a table format. We need that Excel-like look where we have a table, an intersection point. So we want to build that. All right, so let's go ahead and grab under number 1, under the transpose. Let's go ahead and grab that first item and copy it. Okay. And let's go back to our CIP and let's place our cursor. We want to add another hard line. So let's go ahead and place our cursor at the end of the status code. And let's use Shift Enter or Shift Return. And paste. So if we take a look here, it's now saying it's using another operator, transpose, and it's saying, hey, designate, I want on my rows, I want what's in the time slice. Again, remember that underscore means it's a placeholder. On my columns, I want my status code. All right, let's run that. Okay. Now the aggregates table, each status code is broken out into columns and the counts are in our status codes. And let me just run this again here. All right, so here's the time. I should have way more status codes than that. Make sure, looks like William has an issue here. Time slice, make sure you spelled it correctly and it has the underscore. Yeah, no worries, John. We'll get there.
Hey, folks, for those of you who get an issue with field underscore time slice not found, the line above it, just like it is in Odell's screen here, has the time slice 1 minute operator. So make sure that's in there. Otherwise, you will get that error that says, I can't find the underscore time slice.
Oh, let me highlight and put the whole thing in there in case you guys aren't getting that. Hey, John.
Yes, sir.
Why I'm not getting all of my data? Did we?
I don't know. I would also, Bobby, a copy that you just did, you're forgetting the E there at the very end, so be careful.
You may want to update your parse regex.
Yeah, your parse statement's wrong, probably.
Yeah.
I would take the code, the example in the lab, and I would just paste it back in.
Let me try that again. Let me try that.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah.
What? And Jesse, no, unfortunately, we do get things other than 200. It would be nice if we only did, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure we got it and you saw it. Thank you. And I fat fingered it somehow. So let's continue on. Very good. So hopefully you now see your minute by minute and then your actual on the top, you see your status codes. Very good. This is much better for us. Now we want to go ahead and create a chart. There are many chart options that would work for our results as shown, but we want to go ahead and use a column chart. So let's go back to our environment and notice if you hover over these icons, you actually see the different type of chart options available. So I'm going to click on the fourth one. There's my column chart. Also be aware that your legend allows you to hide. Notice that our actual 200 messages are dominating this chart. So what I could do in my legend over to the right, I could turn it off. Now I see that maybe my 304s are dominating the chart. I could turn that off. Now I'm getting down to the meat. That's one way of doing it, but we'd actually like to not have to toggle those on and off. We'd actually like to build that in our query. So let's go ahead and capture in our query, excuse me, in our actual lab steps. Under number 1 here, let's go ahead and capture it where it reads where our actual exclamation point status code equals 200 or status code equals 304. That exclamation mark means not. So let's copy that. And we, of course, are going to add that to the end of our statement. So go back to our environment. Again, hit a new carriage line under the to the right of the status code, and let's paste this. So where not equals status code 200 or status code 304. We don't want to see our 200s or 304s. So let's go ahead and run that. Okay. Use your shift enter or shift return. Okay. You're welcome. And let me just grab all of this because it doesn't like me anymore. And do it like that. And awesome. So now our actual diagram no longer includes, if you look at your legend, no longer includes your 200s or 304s. Parse line is that's a great question. The parse line should be right under your actual search for your source category, right under there. All right. Yes, it is. Question is, was your legend shown by default? Yes, it is. Also be aware that you have, and click this gear symbol. Let's say you wanted to change the properties or the colors. You can also change the colors. So this gear symbol over to the right. Okay. Also, if you want to see the numbers, you can go back and see the table. So again, you can toggle between these. All right. Brian, what's your error? Maybe just copy the entire query, but if you tell me your error, maybe we can pick through it. I'll paste it in the chat as well. Looks like someone else pasted it, but I'll paste it in the chat. You can grab that one. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab the actual query that I have in the window. All righty. How about copying from your lab steps? So go here and grab this entire query from the lab. All right. Now try that. Good. Good. All right, very good. Now let's go back to our steps. All right, wow, we're making great progress. We've completed task 3, and we now we've aggregated our data. We use the transpose operator to make the results, and we charted our actual results and adjusted the legend. Can we change the time compare in the graph? So basically, if you want to change anything about the time, you're going to change it, rerun the query. I think if that's your question.
I'm trying to change the time compare, the drop down, and it's throwing an error.
Right here?
No, down under in the graph. In the aggregates, there is a time compare drop down. Yeah, there. If I
Oh,
say 3 hours, it's throwing an error for me.
okay, let's not utilize that one. I think that feature is still, we want to utilize the time expression up top. Very good. So now it added that to the code. See, it compared and it did a time shift. So that's a totally different expression there. All right. Perfect, 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 perfect. And again, remember, display your items in a graph. All right, back to where we were. All right, let's go on to creating and sharing our dashboards. Okay, let's click on lab number 4. Now, again, dashboards are powerful forensic tools that allow us to visualize our results at a glance, okay? We can step back in time to examine historical data, or we can see real-time streaming results, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to add that chart to a dashboard, okay? And let's go ahead and choose in the right corner, right to the right of the gear, add to dashboard, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and name our dashboard. Let's call this Apache status codes. And let me change the user initials as well, please. Now, what I want you to understand here is we started out with a query. We then displayed that query in a chart. We're now going to add this chart to a dashboard. Now, when we click on dashboard, what the tool is doing right now is it's showing you or displaying all of the dashboards that exist. So if we wanted to add Apache status code to an existing dashboard, we could choose that existing dashboard. But that's not what we want, ladies and gentlemen. We want to create our own new dashboard. So let's go ahead and call this Apache. We can call this Apache status as well. And let's give it our initials. Now, notice we no longer see any of the predefined, the already existing dashboard. We now see we have the ability to create a new dashboard. That's what we want to do. So as you type a newly distinct name, it's going to give you that option. Okay. Now, once we click on that, it takes us to another screen. Okay. So in our training environment, we want you to turn off our new dashboard. So you're in our training environment. We want you to utilize that because we have some test questions particular to the training environment. Okay. So go ahead and make sure you turn that off, please. All right. Now, once you turn that off, you can go ahead and add it. Now, you should now be seeing your panel on this dashboard. We started out with a query displaying it. Okay. Now, be aware the mode that you're in. Right now, we're in edit mode. Okay. Farina, you're going to turn off. There's a gear symbol when you create it. Let me quickly show Farina this. So when I click on add dashboard, I give it a name here. And I give it another name here. Just give me a unique object. I create new dashboard. Right here, you're going to see, turn this off. Turn it off. And again, we have test questions related. That's why we're turning it off. All right. Hopefully that got you to where you need to be. You're welcome. All right, now back here, ladies and gentlemen, we're on our dashboard. We've only added one panel. What can we do at this point? Well, you could go ahead and change or add anything by clicking on the 3 dots. You have to be in the edit mode. Odell, how do I know what mode I'm in? Well, if I turn off the edit mode, I'll see the pencil. If I click on the edit mode, I'm in the edit mode. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to add a panel. So let's go ahead and go to the 3 dots more and add a panel. Okay. And we're just going to call this panel here that we're adding. Let's go ahead and call this understanding the data. It has 2 radio buttons. The first radio button by default is title, and we're just going to call that understanding the data. Okay. We're going to click on the second radio button, text. That enables the text environment. Basically, we want to say this panel represents status codes. Okay. And you can add other stuff if you wanted to as well. Okay. So we added a title and we added text. We're going to submit. So all we've done is added a panel. Now, other techniques that you can do within your dashboards. Watch me. If I want to drag and move this, I'm holding my left mouse button over and over. All right. I can drag it over there. I can resize it. Again, going to the crosshairs, the corner crosshairs, and resize that. Okay. All right, other things you can do here. If you click on the 3 dots, you can toggle the theme. So right now we toggle the theme, we have a darker theme. We can go back to those 3 dots and toggle the theme, and we have a lighter theme. Okay, so we're done editing. Now, we're
Hey, Odell?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so Olga has a question with regards to how the dashboards automatically update.
Let me go back over here. Okay. Okay, so she wants to know how. I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Yep. If you go back to your dashboard.
Yep. And
again, Olga, just so you know, the dashboard will update in this case every 15 minutes or whatever his periodicity is. So it will update every 15 minutes, or you can switch it to live mode. And as new data comes in, old data will get pushed out. So hopefully that answers your question, Olga.
Actually, not exactly. I meant that if, for example, I change my log parcel, for example, I exclude another area code, and how it's going to be updated here in dashboard.
Sorry, I understand. So if you go back to your search, and if you modify your search, you're going to see your button's going to change. Instead of add to dashboard, it's going to say update dashboard. You click on that button to refresh the contents of that dashboard.
I see. I got it. Thank you.
Thanks for asking.
all right, very good. Thank you. All right. John, can we specify graph by which to live mode, to switch to live mode?
Well, whatever visualization, and again, you can take one search and you can make, a bar chart, a line chart, various other charts, and you can add these to the dashboard. Once you switch it to live mode, all of those visualizations will be in live mode. So I hope, William, that answers your question.
Very good. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Okay, let's go back over here. So hopefully everyone has actually toggled on the actual toggle to the different layout structures. So let me go back over here. You have to be in edit mode to do that. So again, in order to toggle between themes, make sure you're in the right edit, you're in the right mode. Now I'm done editing. All right, so we now want to share this dashboard with our organization. We're going to use the same steps we did before. Again, remember, we saved that dashboard, okay? We can go to the 3 dots. This is Apache dashboard here. And let's share it, okay? And again, we can share it with the entire organization. You don't have to specify a specific user. You can, but you don't need to. We'll just share it with the entire organization. And choose share. Live mode is happening as items are being ingested. So it's right, it's live. That's exactly what it means. I think, Miguel, if that's your question. As things being ingested. Okay. Great. All right. All right, so we completed task 4. We've created a panel from our search and we've added it to a new dashboard. We also added a text panel. We changed the look and feel of the dashboard and we shared it with our organization. Okay. Let's now click on modifying our dashboard. Lab number 5. Good job, everyone. Now that we know how to create a dashboard and change the look and feel, let's see how to change the contents of the data panel. Okay, let's start by with our Apache overview dashboard, which is included in our Apache Access app. Okay, so what we want to do here is we want to go ahead back to our, make sure you're in your personal folder. Remember, you created that Apache Access with your initials. Okay, if you expand it by clicking on it, you should then see the Apache overview dashboard. Let's go ahead and open that up. So we're just opening up a dashboard that we can zoom down. All right, and let's go down to where you see the actual visitors location panel. The visitors location panel is where I want you to be. Okay. Whoops. Let's go back here. And what we want to do here is we want to edit that. Now, in your steps, if you can go ahead under number 3 and grab that where country name equals United States. Let's grab that expression under number 3 and copy it. It's going to be the second to the last line. So again, I'll demonstrate how to do that for you. Go back here. Now, if we notice in our top, in the visitor location, there's 3 dots, the more link in the top right corner of that panel. Let's go ahead and click on that. It allows us to edit the actual query right here. So right here, it didn't open up a new tab. It's allowing us to edit the actual query right here on this dashboard. What we'd like to do is add another line. So look for where the last item is src_IP. Place your cursor right there and do a shift enter. We want to add another line above that where. And we're going to paste in, whoops, paste in where country name equals United States. Right now, our actual map is showing entry points all over the world. We want to focus on the United States. So we launched the underlining query to edit it, and we've added where country name equals United States. Now we're going to run this actual query to get it our new results. So notice now there's no longer areas around the whole country. We're focusing on the United States. Okay. Now, all that did for us was update the query. We need to now update the dashboard. So we can click in the top right corner, update dashboard. Now that dashboard is now utilizing what we have. Right. All right, so hopefully you're all up to that point. Questions?
I have a question.
I have a question as well. You
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay. So where do I do the update dashboard? Can you show that again?
Sure. So when you were in visitors location, you clicked on the 3 dots.
Mhm.
Okay. Then you
Okay.
said edit.
Oh, okay.
Once you click on edit, you're adding that expression and you're updating, so you're running it and then you're updating the dashboard.
Got you. Thank you.
You're welcome. There's another question, please.
Two questions coming in here, Odell, that we might want to just take care of real quick.
Okay.
Some of you are finding the issue. I can't find the field country name is not found. Make sure that you put your filter in after country name has been gotten. So if you go back to that query and we edit it, you'll see that their lookup table down there toward the bottom, 3rd line from the bottom or whatever, is where they get country name. That's where your filter has to go right after that. Okay, if you put it up there earlier, it's not going to find it. It has no idea what that country name is. So want to help that one off.
What other questions were there?
One of the questions.
I didn't have any data when we first went to this dashboard.
Right.
We went to Apache overview. There was no data there.
Yep. And the problem is when you installed the app, and this happened to a couple of folks, when you installed the app, you didn't configure it right. And that's why none of the panels are showing up with any data. So what we have to do is have to delete the app and reinstall it following the directions back in lab 1. Like I said, we can do that later after class.
Thank you.
Other questions? Okay. All right. So let's see here. Where do we leave off here? Let's go back here. All right. So we had now updated our dashboard. We updated the query. Now that we know how to move between the dashboard and the search tab, we can now adjust any search settings in the dashboard. Let's go ahead and now create an alert. Lab number 6. Okay. Now that we know how to search through data and understand our data, we can create an alert. Alerts allow you to monitor the trends in your data. For this purpose, we're going to create an email alert. To do that, we'll schedule the search we just created. Okay. So let's go ahead and we have to open it up as in a search in order to create that. So let's go back here. Again, let me go back to my dashboard. So right here, what we just updated was that visitor's location. Okay. We want to click on the 3 dots again for that panel. This time, instead of editing right here, because we want to create an alert, we're going to open in a new search. So go ahead and click on the phrase open in a new search. Here's our query. There's our underlining map. Let's go over to the 3 dots, or you can click on this save as, either or. We want to get to save as. We want to go down to the schedule this search. Right now it says, hey, I'm never going to run this. We're going to change that. Click the drop down and we can say every 15 minutes. When we launch that every 15 minutes, we get more options. So right now the time range that's a small time range. We want to change our time range. Let's say for the last 60 minutes. Okay. By default, it's going to use your location of time. Okay. We're going to go ahead and you can put in your email address. Of course, a training environment. Don't put in mine. All right. Now we want to also capture some actual variables here. So if you scroll down in your lab step, you're going to look under number 6H. You'll see there's a box with 3 variables in there. Let's right click and copy those 3 variables. Okay. And let's go back to our environment. And you'll see right here, it says email subject. Once you click on it, you'll see a little flyout window that tells you, hey, you can display the number of query results, the time that it ran, etc. We're going to highlight what's there and replace it with what we copied. Let's paste over that. So we're going to get the name, the time, and the number of results. Okay, you're not done here, so let's keep scrolling down. We also want to get results as a CSV as well. So we're enabling results in a CSV. So just kind of recapture every 15 minutes. We're scheduling it for the last 60 minutes, pardon me. We're adding our email address and we're adding our actual variables. Okay. Let's save that. And let me also demonstrate how you would turn that off. So you would go to either that query or the saved item, whichever you want to do, click on the 3 dots, and then you want to edit. And when you edit, you go edit this schedule. And you would then change this back to never. Okay, so again, that's how you turn off the schedule. You go to where you save the item, edit it, and turn it to never. All right, and your results will appear as you're seeing in the actual lab steps. You'll get also the actual CSV. Okay. All right. So this last lab is really a reference page for you. To get help with Sumo Logic, again, we have bullet points there for you. Check the release notes, go to our documentation hub, visit the learn page, etc. You can also post a question out on our community as well. Okay. You can try our customer Slack channel, or you can log a support ticket. All right. Let's wrap this up so we can get into the actual exam. All right, so we complete. Now, here's the syntax. I want to point this out because a lot of you have been asking about where does this go and where does that go? Again, here's the syntax. We want to make sure we get our metadata. You can optionally use keywords. Remember, the and operator is optional. It's implied. If you want to use an or, you have to explicitly put that there, okay? You can use your parsing where we want to filter out. We want to filter out these fields. Then we're using our where clause and our aggregation and then our formatting. So that, if you're familiar with SQL, it's similar to SQL, okay? So it leaves that same type of behavior. The goal of doing those objectives is to limit or narrow the search scope, adding those keywords and the metadata. There's other analytics available for you, the parse anchor, the parse regex. There's the geo lookups, the outliers, and the predictions. We use the log reduce. Remember, that was to find that needle in the haystack where I was able to crunch down all of those messages. The log compare is going to allow me to compare today's data maybe to last week's data or 24 hours ago last week. Okay, so that's doing a comparison based on a time pattern. You have the ability to do live tail. There's only 10 concurrent live tails that you can run at once. We have a label for 10. That's a limit. Okay. Typically, administrators are the ones that use live tail. What's being ingested currently? All right. Now let's get to the actual exam. All right. So what I want you all to do now, let me get in the right environment here. Are there any questions first before we get started in this exam?
You've got a few questions in here, like Prasad's having an issue getting an error when they're trying to save. Prasad, what's the error that you're getting?
It says unclosed string literal. All I'm doing is exactly the steps that were in the documentation.
Okay. It sounds like it's missing some sort of a closing print, but what we can do is we can look at it, and when we get everybody into the exercise in the labs, you and I can look at that and we can see what's going on. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Super. And also someone else is having a problem. Patricia, what was the last one after aggregate? I'm not sure what you're asking there. And I see some folks must have stepped out because I know their microphones enabled. Hang on me. Enable a bunch of microphones here. Falling asleep at the switch. So Patricia, can you elaborate on your message there? Question?
Just in the order of search queries. Yeah, when metadata, parse, filter, aggregate. Oh, okay, here we go. Format. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. I didn't do anything. Great, thanks. Thank you, PenCap.
I have a question. Where do I find the email?
The email? What do you mean email?
So after we save the visitor's location, after we create an alert, what is next after that? Where do I see it?
Okay, so let me edit. So you're talking about scheduling, and you clicked on 15 minutes here.
Right.
If you scroll down here, you should be able to put email right here.
Yeah, I did all that.
Okay.
Who do you want to send it to? Yourself?
Yes.
Then put your email in there.
Yeah, I did that, but
What time range did you use?
New York time.
No. I mean, you did it every 15 minutes. Did you do
60,
it for?
60 minutes.
Okay, so has it been 15? I don't think it's been 15 minutes.
We did this around 12:03, so I wouldn't expect an alert.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there a way that I can go back and edit it, or
Edit the, like
to
I did?
whom I have to send? Yeah.
Edit. So if you
Same.
go to where you save it, go edit, and here you'll see it.
Okay.
So I turned mine off, but again, you can go back and click on that saved item.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you going to be getting emails for the future? will these be turned off after this? Or what?
No, you want, that's why I taught you, that's why I wanted to teach you how to turn it off. You want to go edit, really, that, and not to use my name as well. So you click edit, you can just, say never. Make sure your run frequency is never.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, very good. Let's get in here. All right, so again, it's time for our exam. It's 30 questions, 60 minutes to take, open slides, labs, and documentation, okay? I need to show you how to get to it, okay? So again, you're going to log out first, because we don't want you, and let me show you that, we don't want you logging in or taking the test as a trainer, okay? So again, in order to log out, over to the left, if you click on that training name, sign out, okay? And again, you want to log into your environment using your credentials. Now, once you log into your environment using your credentials, you're going to, of course, click on make sure the home tab is available. I'm going to hide some of these tabs. Okay, you want to go to certification. And you want to click on get certified. Once you click on get certified, you're going to choose, you should have these 4 boxes. You're going to choose get certified. And of course, you're going to use take the fundamentals exam. Now, I've taken it before. Let me get out of here and resume. I've done this a few times. So once you click on that, you'll then go to Start Assessment. Which of the following is invalid metadata tag? Now, which one do you think here? Any idea? Let's say we try that.
Live till.
Very good, very good. All right,
Odell, I was logging into our environment before I could even catch up to you here. Where do you get to the certifications page?
very
Again?
good. So under Home,
Yeah.
Certification.
Oh, I
Get
got you.
Certified. Once you click on that Get Certified, it's gonna bring you to our skills jar environment.
Adele, if I'm a Sumo employee and I'm doing it, do I just do it through the website?
You do it through whatever Sumo environment you can access. So like, for example, customer usage or any, if you got access tonight or any of the systems, you should be able to access it through that.
I don't have access to anything else.
Okay. You're reaching out through me through Slack, right?
Okay, yes.
I'll set up an account for you.
Thank you.
I also having the same issue. I'm not able to access.
Okay. Who is this, by the way, who's not able to access?
It's Nabil's money.
Okay. You don't have an account with your company?
I think I don't have access because I was not using the Sumo.
Okay. Okay. Odell, do you want to show them how to get a trial account?
Yep. Do you want me to create a trial account?
That's what we want you to do, yes.
All right, John.
Okay.
You want to lead that one, John? Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay.
This is William Coleman. I'm a student and I don't not with an organization. Yeah, I will need to be able to access to.
Tell you what, let me share my screen. Don't mind. So if you could stop sharing, Odell, I'll take it for a second. Oh, there we go. All right, bear with me a second, folks, while we turn on the screen here. If you go out to good old sumologic.com, our website, our public facing website. And if I look here, I've actually got it bookmarked. There is a place that you can sign up for a free trial account. So for those of you who do not have access to your company's Sumo Logic environment for whatever reason, you can go here and you can sign up for a free account. Here is the link. I put it in the chat box, so you should be good to go. Okay. So, again, Florina, I'll take care of you in just a few minutes. Bear with me a second. Couple of the questions in here. Nishad mentions I was directed to send a verification email. I clicked on it, but there's no email yet. Been 5 minutes. Try to access it anyway, Nishad. I bet you're able to go through, but try it. Also check your spam filters. Sorry about the dog barking in the background.
That's okay. I got a verification email error when I clicked to get certified for some reason.
Sorry, when you click to get certified, what?
I got a
There.
I got the email to my admin account and there was a verification error.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Try to access it now. It should work.
Access,
Occasionally,
go back to
that
get
email when you click on that
get
button.
certified.
I'm sorry.
Go back to get certified because it just keeps
Please,
asking. for an
please,
email.
please, please.
Yeah,
Occasionally,
just-
when you get the email and you click on the button, it throws an error, but really it's a bogus error. You're able to click in, you're able to get in, you're able to do what you need to do. Okay.
Yeah, that's not happening, but okay.
Okay. David, you mentioned some about where do I find the slides again? Again, if you log into Sumo with your environment, with your credentials, now under home, you go into certification, you click on get certified. Here, you can see this recorded training, live training. And when you click on recorded live training, here's every one of our classes, but specifically in this class under fundamentals, if you go in there and you register, it takes but a second, you're registered. Here is where, let me stop that. You can see a recording of our class, the slides, and then the student lab guide. All the exercises are here as well. Okay. So that's for any of you who want access to any of our courses. You know, maybe you don't have time to take another class, but you really want the content. Here's the administration course, right? You can go in there, listen to it, do the labs, all that fun stuff. Okay. So we want to try to make it easy for you. And again, Ogai asked the question, is there a limit on the number of retakes? No. But keep in mind, if you get stuck on a question, ask us. Odell and I will help you pass this exam. We want you to be successful. All right. So we want you to do it once and only once if possible. Odell, I'm done here, sir. I think we got the questions all caught up.
Thank you.
One more question, if I may.
Sure.
I got in about 15, 20 minutes late to the, to the training. So, am I missing too much, or I was able to do all the labs with you guys, at least that much, but.
Philip, I'd say take a stab at it. If you get to a question you don't understand, ask us.
Okay.
Okay, just take a stab at it. If you got the time, let's try to make this happen.
Will do. Thanks.
No, thank
Yeah,
you.
Phil, still getting that error. Not much I can do. It's just sending me a send verification email and then I go nowhere. I can't access it.
Matt, then what you're gonna have to do is reach out to our tech support.
All right.
Sorry. You may want to log out and log back in and try it one more time, just for fun, before you do that.
I'm also having the same issue. Send a verification email twice, but nothing came to my inbox. I don't know if it's
And you
getting
checked your
blocked
spam
or.
filters and everything?
I did like 3 times already, like within last 15 minutes. And no
Yeah, I
email.
got the email. It just doesn't let me, it just keeps defaulting to send email verification, won't open the test.
It helps, gentlemen, if I deal with one problem at a time. Okay. So Matt, you reach out to tech support, let them know. Tengenra, again, you've checked all your filters, all that fun stuff. Again, you're going to wind up reaching out to tech support as well. But I suspect it's caught somewhere. I suspect you've got an inbox rule that's causing it to go somewhere. So
yeah, we have a Mindcast in the back end which scans the email. So I don't know if that is blocking or not, but I'll check with my admin.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
No problem. Any other questions?
If you're taking the test, and we're actually done after this, I am going to paste in here the link of where you can get your Uber Eats voucher, but you don't have to listen to the other comments. You can go ahead and take the test on your own. We're here to help you though. So let me paste in that link.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So is there a limitation of how many times you can give the test? Something?
No, ma'am.
All right.
There isn't a limit.
Thank you.
But if Odell and I did our jobs right, you should be able to pass it 1 or 2 times, and that's it.
Okay,
Hopefully you
thanks.
got it right the first time.
Hey, I am getting a missing auth cookies. If you're blocking third-party cookies, please, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's a tech support contact. And Farhan, I'll take care of you in just a second here, man. I hadn't forgotten.
I have one question. I can take this test later, right?
Yes, sir. You can take it at any time. That's
Yeah,
correct.
because right now it's not working, so I might have to go with my admin and see where it's blocking, and then if that's the case, nothing is blocking, then I have to call the tech.
Sounds good.
Thank you. All right, thank you for the help and everything. I appreciate it.
Yep, good luck.
Bye. Thanks, bye.
Eric, I'll walk you through it, but again, if you're logged in, I'll walk you through how to get to the exam. You got to log into your environment. And let me share my screen with you. So you're logged in your environment. Hopefully you're seeing my screen. You're in the home tab, certification link, get certified. Once you get there, you're going to go to get certified and choose the fundamentals exam. Does that help you, Eric? Okay. No, you want to do it in your, not in our training environment. You won't get credit for it. Not in our training environment. You want to do it in your environment. Yep, good question.
Excuse me, can you show again where is this certification? Get training?
Yeah, so can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so let me go back to where you are. So are you logged in your environment?
Yes.
All right, so under the home tab, you see a certification link. Get certified.
I see. The question is, we, our company has shared accounts, so it's not personal. It's like a CRE team. So should I do like this?
John, what do you think about this? Should she do it?
Your shared account does not identify you as an individual, correct?
Yeah.
You can either sign up for a demo account, and then obviously you'll be under your name, or yeah, you need to talk to your administrator about getting your own account.
Okay, I will sign for demo.
Whichever, what do you think is easiest process to solve there? And somebody's got a question here. Deepay says, when overlying logs on top of metrics, an orange log overlay bar is displayed on top of the metrics chart. The relative number of messages represented by the intensity of an orange color. Deeper orange equals more messages. Select true or false. Deepay, that is true. You may recall when Odell did the demonstration about travel logic. That's when we saw that orange bar, and he's absolutely right. The deeper the orange, the more messages that match. So we can see correlation between log messages and metrics is what it's trying to show you. But the answer is true. So again, folks, if you ask questions, we can try to help you out and answer those questions as you just saw. So don't be bashful.
Bessie, I'll add that link in there for you. You're going to fill out that link.
It should be a Google form.
Excuse me, should I do the like free trial for this demo account?
Yeah, if you don't have an account with your company, yep, you could do a free trial and take the actual exam.
What kind of company I can put? Because I mean, my company has account, but it's a shared account, and I tried to put just even when I put company name, they said the company exists. When I put the student, they said company exists.
So what you're telling me is it's not letting you create a free account. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, I cannot create the free trial account.
I'm not sure that you want to create a bogus company. I mean, don't get me wrong, what's going to happen, obviously, is marketing will reach out to you at some point in time, say, hey, I saw you were interested in Sumo, or, you know, that sort of thing. And you can say, look, my company didn't allow me access to take the test. That's why I created this. Please take me off your mailing list. And they will. Okay. So you could put in, you know, as company name, your first name and last name, or whatever you want, you know, whatever, you know, unique thing that you want. But I suspect it's still going to key on your email, your work email. So, and then it doesn't like things like Gmail accounts and stuff. So hopefully if you can get through that, you can still then create an account and be able to do what you need to do.
Okay, sure. I will try. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so a couple of questions are coming in here. What's the best order to use for these types of operators? So, William, I think I'm missing part of that question.
Yeah, it's kind of like a operational order. I'm assuming it's aggregate, filter, and then parse format.
Okay,
And then
hold on, let me share my screen and I'm going to show you a slide and it will become intuitively obvious to you. So just humor me for a second. Hopefully you're seeing my screen. Is these the operators that you're seeing? Metadata keywords?
aggregate, yeah, metadata keywords.
You see the order they're listed here?
Yeah.
That's the order that we want. So metadata and keywords is first, then parsing, then filtering.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome, sir. Thank you for asking.
David, you got a question?
I do. The question, I gotta get to that screen. Which of the following is true for the underscore source name meta tag? I want to say it's name of user generated source.
Look for the one that talks about the file path.
Okay.
The file path of where the file is.
Thank you.
That's the correct answer.
Guys, I had a question. After I got a certificate saying I passed, is the class over or are we still?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you for participating. And also remember to fill out that form so you can get the actual Uber Eats voucher.
I'm sorry, the what voucher?
The Uber Eats voucher.
Oh, okay. And where do I go for that?
I'm going to place the actual form link in the actual chat.
Oh, the Capitol Grill, Bob.
Oh, okay.
There you go. You're welcome, John. Good luck. Thank you, sir.
Odell and Phil, I was able to get in finally, but I only have a half hour now till I have a meeting. So is that, can this be taken at another time or?
You can take it anytime you like. Now that you got in, so yeah, maybe you could take it later.
Okay.
I have a question. There is an option, or there's a question regarding the visual graphic, and it's talking about adding lines to a query, and it says there is now an option for either an area, a map, a bar, or a line chart.
Are those your choices?
Yes,
Okay, let me just demonstrate real quickly.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so I'm going to bring up a chart here in a second. Easier query. So over here, you have these types of objects. You have your line, chart, area.
Understood. Thank you.
Yep.
Excuse me, what is when you edit mode, you need to check, because I don't remember that we see pencil.
Pencil. The pencil is whether you go into edit mode in your dashboard.
So right here.
Ah, that's one. Dashboard. I see. Okay.
Once I
Thank
click
you.
on that, now I'm in edit mode. Yep, you're welcome.
We didn't cover all the different time buckets. Should I assume year is not one of the ones that we can do?
Let me address that real quickly. So good question. So here we have minute, hours, days.
I believe he's talking about the time slice operator, correct?
Correct.
Sorry.
So if you look at the documentation time slice operator, you'll find you can't use year. Doesn't make sense.
Okay. I didn't think so. Our organization couldn't get more than a year. So I'm happy about that.
All right, thank you guys. Sean.
You're welcome, Sean. Good luck.
Hey, earlier you guys showed the graphic with the syntax. Would you mind showing that graphic once again?
Sure thing. So we're talking about the heat map. What are we talking about? Is that what you're referring to?
No, someone else earlier asked about the query syntax, the order that.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yep. So right here.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
One more question, sorry. There is a question that is talking about the historical CPU performance. Is the best way to view it through metrics?
Metrics, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, we didn't really talk about it much, but yes, metrics.
I have a question. This is Felicia. And I remember in the beginning, he was talking about the metadata tags. And I remember collector, source category. I don't recall live till being one. Is that right?
So let me show you here. So live tell, you're correct, is not one. But You're talking about metadata tags. So another way of doing that, just quickly show you guys. Google is your friend.
Yes, thank you.
So if I go in here and go here, metadata tag. Sorry. So these are our metadata tags. Can you see the screen? And as you mentioned before, there's no logic.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, can you show again this syntax slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You guys don't have to apologize. Again, as John mentioned, we want you to pass the test. So ask away. Does this help? Is this the one you're looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
How can you find out what logs might have been ingested?
Ooh, great question. So remember, when we first came into the tool, one of the things that I showed you was we went to manage collections. What are your choices? Make sure I understand your question.
Review your managed data matrix, manage data collection, run the following search.
Look what I'm doing. And what I see here is all of the source categories. I see all of the defined actual collectors. So I'm going manage collection.
Got it. Thanks.
Can you please provide me a link for certification again? So again, Pooja, what you're going to do is you're going to log in, make sure you're logged into your environment, and you're going to click on the home link, certification, get certified. Then you'll choose get certified and fundamentals and take the course.
I have a question. Is there any limitation in the characters for the keyword search?
Let's see here. Let's see about that. So let's go keywords.
There is not a limit of characters to the keyword search. What are your other choices?
That is one choice, and it's basically the question is about the following is true about keyword searching. The one is keyword search is limited to 25 characters. The other one is keyword search only allows complete words, no wildcard.
Okay.
And the third one is keyword search supports Boolean logic.
They do support Boolean logic. That's true.
And keyword search is case sensitive.
So it's insensitive. You're here.
Keyword search is case sensitive.
The Boolean logic also includes error and not fail. So
yeah. Is the keyword search is case sensitive?
Right here, you see my screen? I got the actual, I went into our help, search for keyword search, and you see, again.
Okay, got it.
There was another question out there?
Yes, I don't remember that there is a question about the log message, which is the false statement, like use HTML operator to extract field from the log message XML format. Use the key value operator to extract fields from log message with key value pairs.
Right, right. So here, let me, yep.
Yeah, I just don't understand this. Yeah.
So again, you're using keywords.
Yeah, I can use a keyword. I can parse anchor to extract field from log, and I can use a split operator, right?
This query, search for the keywords across all your products.
Bless you, but someone's mic on.
No, the question is false. I need to select what false statement.
And your four statements are, I'm sorry.
The false statement is use a key value operator. It's true. Use parse anchor to extract fields. It's true, I guess. Use the split operator to extract field. It's true. Only on the web.
We haven't used split. Did we use a split operator?
Odell?
Yeah.
Can I interrupt here for a second? If you read the one about the parse anchor, it talks about the parse anchor using unstructured messages. That is incorrect. It's got to be a structured message or a parse anchor is not going to work. So that is your correct answer. That is the one that's false.
So use parse anchor to extract field from the log message with unpredictable pattern.
Correct. They can't be unpredictable. That's not going to work. That is a false statement.
I see. I got it. Thank you.
Got to be predictable.
Yep. Got it. Thank you.
Got to be consistent. No, thank you for asking. So, yep.
When searching your logs, you can export your raw messages and aggregated results as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And Deepe, your question is, when executing a query, what does results 2404 mean? It means that in the histogram, it means that you got 2404 records back. That's what you got as far as the number of messages that you have. So 2404 is the number of messages.
I had a quick question in regards to aggregation operators. Actually, sorry, I was looking at the wrong question. Just 1 second.
Quick question for the live update. Sorry, for if you need your dashboards to constantly update, do they need to be in live mode?
They do, and for the purposes of this test, yes.
Okay.
There is a newer dashboarding tool that we have, but we didn't really talk about it, and the test questions don't cover it. So for this, the answer to that question is true. The answer to that question is yes.
Phil, if you want to share a query in your personal folder, I think the answer is which of the following is not an access option? I would assume edit on that one, correct?
Okay. If you want to share something, remember the permissions that you had view, you had, view, edit, and then modify. What you didn't have was read.
Oh, you can't read. Okay.
What Odell's showing you right now, you can't read. Read is not the option. So there you go.
Using the app catalog.
There is one that I can't recall this. It says, which of the following is the best query to search for keywords? And then it just has like number across your Apache logs. Was it product, Apache access, product, Apache air, dev? I don't think it was dev. I think it was product.
I believe in the question, they say that you're using your prod environment. You want to see your Apache access logs. So you want to look for the answer that has prod and Apache access in it.
Access. Okay. Thank you very much.
Very welcome. And Einstein, you've got a question here in the Q&A. When you search your logs, you can use wildcards for your metadata tags. Yes, you can. That's true.
Okay.
Oh, and so sorry for the access question. It's not how it's actually presented. So these are the categories, but then the actual options are slightly more confusing. It just says source category Apache and with basically like the dashes are in a different place. But it would still have product in it, correct?
It would still have product in it, yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Brad.
John, if I search for, sorry.
I said, and my computer just restarted the exam on me. I was 3 questions away.
John, if I have a question for specific interval, I don't remember that we use
Time slice. Time slice lets us specify the interval, right?
No, there is the option. It's save as, share, info, and pin.
Okay, I'm sorry. Repeat the question if you would.
Yes, if you want to schedule a search to run at a specific interval.
Gotcha. You would go save as. Odell's demonstrating it right now.
Save as. Yes, that's right. Great. Thank you.
I have a question. So on the collection page, hosted collector is used when there are a couple of options given as a drop down. Such as Sumo Logic hosts the collector, the customer environment hosts the collector. There is no collector. The collector has no sources attached.
I apologize. I was answering somebody else's question. Could you repeat that, please?
Sure. On the it's a fill in the blank. It says on the collection page, a hosted collector is used when the options are Sumo Logic hosts the collector.
Sumo Logic hosts the collector.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, we maintain it. We take care of it. Thank you.
If you want to schedule a search to run at a specific interval, what link do you need to click on? So the options are not, sorry?
Save as.
Just save as. So save as is basically to save any current version, right? But I'm just.
Okay. Odell is showing you right now. In order to get to specify the interval, you got to click save as.
Okay.
John, what is the
Thank you.
when you create email query that you can enable for inclusion?
Result set. Result set. Do me a favor. Odell, go to save schedule. Oops, I'm sorry. Odell, if you would, go back to that. Go back to save as. Go to schedule the search.
Mhm.
Go ahead and pick a time. I don't care. Go ahead and go down to the bottom. We're doing email. See those 4 choices right there? Down in, including your email. One of them is result set. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I see. Mhm.
Okay. And
can we export our aggregate results as well as the raw data, or is it just the raw data?
I'm sorry.
Can we export? The question essentially was asking if you that it's a true or false question, but it was saying that you can export your raw messages, but you cannot export the aggregated results. So I wasn't sure if we could.
If Odell grabs the gear on the far right side,
yeah,
you'll see that you have the option to export those out.
Can you also export the aggregate results, the aggregate as well?
So when he goes to aggregate results, you'll see there's a click on his tab here. Click on the tab. I'm sorry, the tabular data, the icon on the left. And when you click on that, you'll see there's an export button to the left of that.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
For Cynthia, legacy dashboards, that statement is true about the legacy dashboards. Yep. And then Corinthia, if you want to share a query in your personal folder to the following is not an access option. You can't read it. Read is not the access option. So hopefully that catches us up on the questions.
John, there is no distribution percentage, right, on displayed field?
Okay, do me a favor, Odell, go to messages for a second. Okay, and your field browser, click on size. There you go. See the distribution percentages?
Yes, I see. Okay.
I think that's what the question's trying to ask you if I read it right.
I got it. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for asking.
Gantt chart is not Sumo. It's not an option in charting for Sumo Logic, correct?
I selected Gantt chart without asking.
I lost the question here. Would you repeat that, please? The question.
Which of the following charting option is not true an option in Sumo Logic? I'm assuming that's Gantt chart.
Gantt chart, correct.
John, again, we can export aggregate result or just raw data.
Okay. You can do both. There's the aggregated results right there. There's an option to export out of CSV and it'll create a CSV file. In your messages tab, you'll see there's a gear icon on the right where you can export. So you can do both.
I see. Got it. Great.
What is not a way to create additional log searches?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
So I think it's the choices are what, duplicate the tab or something like that? I think that's the question, right?
Home tab greater than log search below blue header, scroll to the right of the
The
tab.
one about managed data where it says create query, that's the option that doesn't work or isn't available. So it's under managed data collection, I think.
Forgive me, I'm slightly frustrated having to take this over.
Okay, sorry.
It's not your fault.
Understand. We are in this together. As Odell says, one of our core values is we're in it with our customers. So we understand.
So where in the left nav will you look to find your previously saved search or dashboard? I would have figured it'd be under recent.
Recent searches, that's correct.
But it's not one of the options. It says under help, under app catalog, under manage data, under personnel.
Personal then. You won't see any recent searches or recent queries under collection or managed data. So yeah, that it'd be in a personal. Personal one makes sense.
All done. Bye guys. Bye everyone. Thank you for the training. It's very
Good job. Good job. Thank you.
So
John and Odell,
returning to for results 2404 for a histogram. What does that mean actually? I never
The
used
amount
histogram.
of messages, the amount of messages, the count of the messages.
Account of the messages. Okay, thank you.
Other question?
John, I would like to ask about tomorrow. What the agenda for tomorrow and the it's gonna be the same because I thought that it's 3-day training.
No, it's going to be the same structure as you had today, except we're going to get more into the labs. So we'll be a little quick review intro, and then we'll get right into a bunch of labs. We got 14 labs to do tomorrow, and then again the last hour is the certification exam. So it's very
same,
similar.
right?
What's that?
The same agenda like for
Same
the
basic agenda, yes, ma'am.
okay, I see. And for another training, it's master search. It's gonna be another webinar, right? It's not for tomorrow.
Correct. It's another Zoom meeting. Yep, another Zoom webinar. Yep.
Okay, I see that. So tomorrow and Wednesday, it's gonna be, the same program as today.
Correct. Same basic structure, just different information. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you, John.
Oh, thank you.
When you create an email alert for query, which of the following items may be included for
Result set.
That's what I thought. Okay, double checking my work on this one.
Yep. And there's a question here, but I've been dying to answer. Hang on a sec, guys. Matt, you asked a question about which select query line that will filter out all incoming messages that have a 404 code. That should be some sort of aware, status code equals 404. So that was in the chat a while ago here. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, no, thank you. I just, thank you very much. No, the one I was struggling was when overlaying logs on top of metrics, an orange log overlays bars displayed.
Yep. That statement is true.
That statement is true.
Yes, sir. What happens is we can correlate and see log information along with metric information. That's what it does. So when an orange bar shows me where I've got a high number of log messages, that also show me in my metrics with spikes and stuff, what's going on. So it correlates my logs and metrics. So I can see if I've got a bunch of error log messages, at the same time, maybe my CPU spikes up. And Odell's showing that right now.
I have a quick question. The question is talking about if you're searching for Apache access logs across your production environment with the status code of 404, which is better. I thought it was anything that says and 404. So there's two options for that. It says source category prod Apache access or just Apache and 404.
Okay. You want prod, so you need to specify prod, you need to specify Apache access, and you need to specify 404 somewhere in that query.
Understood. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
As a new Sumo Logic user, you want to find out what data is available to query.
Yep. Go to your collectors, right? Manage data collection.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then one more question about the 404 codes. It says select the query line that will filter all incoming HTML status codes that you see only 404 codes.
Where status code equals 404. Right?
They all say that. So there's
Oh, I see. Okay.
is the status code in parentheses or no?
What are your choices again?
It's just where exclamation status code equals 404 in parentheses.
So that
Or
exclamation means not equal. So we know that's not it, right?
oh, I understand. I understand. So it would just be where status code equals 404 without anything else.
There you go.
Understood.
Can we share the app catalog? I know that we can share the dashboards and queries, but can we share the entire app? The app catalog.
I mean, first of all, the app catalog is built into our product. Every customer gets the same apps in the app catalog. So there's no reason to share it, I don't think. But I don't know that that's the question that you're asking. Is that a test question you're trying to ask?
No, it's a true or false question. Like once an app is installed from the app catalog, it can be shared like other dashboards and
It can
queries.
be shared. That's true. That statement is true. In fact, Odell is trying to show you that here right now. You can go up to this folder there, pick a folder, Odell. You want to get out of the demo environment, sir, where you don't have rights.
App catalog. Yeah.
He's in the demo environment. That's why he's restricted on his rights.
Well, Phil, I got 70 out of 75, but I absolutely have to get to a security meeting right now. I really rushed through this. Is there any way to go back to this or?
Yep, take it again. Take it again at your
Okay.
convenience.
Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. This was
No
really
problem.
good.
Thanks.
I think you guys
thanks,
just
guys.
covered this one, but for the the new Sumo Logic, who wants to find out their data, if it's available in the query, it's you go to review and manage data and collection, or
You go into manage data and collection.
okay, that is the right thing. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So,
And DPay, DPay, if I could, best way to view historical CPUR performance is looking at metrics. Metrics is the correct answer there. And Corinthi, true or false, when you search your cards, you can use wildcards. That statement is true. So I'm just trying to catch up all the questions here in the chat box. Now,
sorry,
anybody else got
I
any
didn't.
questions? Anybody else?
I didn't. This is Prasad here. I didn't quite not clear with you mentioned that we don't need to share app catalog, right? Because it is a product from. So the question is like, can it be shared like other dashboards? It's false, right?
Okay. No. Okay. If you install an app from the app catalog, which is how the question reads, not what you told me, but how the question reads, then you can share that app. That statement is
okay.
true.
Got it.
You cannot share the app catalog, which is not what the question asks at all.
But an app can be done, right?
Right. So you can share
Awesome.
the app that you install from the app catalog, which is exactly how the question reads, I think. And that you can do. That's true. The app catalog is available to all of our customers. We all have the same app catalog. There's no need to share it. Everybody can see it if they have rights to it.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me, John, I would like to confirm. So I see on the calendar, there is a Wednesday search mastery and the Thursday metric mastery. It's different webinars, right?
You're absolutely correct. The search mastery, we're going to go over more log searching methods and stuff like that. Some of the stuff that Odell introduced here, we're going to go into more detail. And then the metric mastery is how to query for metric data and metric query editor. So yes, they're two separate distinct courses.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I would love to participate. Thank you. Thank you. It was very
Love to
useful.
see you.
Thank you.
Kranthi, you can't create a log message from the application or from the main menu. So let me demonstrate to you what I mean. You cannot create it from over here in collections or manage data. Cannot create a search from there.
Keyword searching allows you to look for specific words in your log messages. Which of the following is true about keyword searching? Is it case sensitive?
It is case insensitive.
I know wildcards are good.
Yep.
25 characters.
No limitation. And what's the last one?
Well, keyword search is limited to 25 characters. Keyword search.
That's false. It's not limited.
Okay. So Boolean logic or Boolean logic?
This
would
is
be the
Boolean
correct one?
logic. Yep, you can use Boolean logic as well.
Okay, then we've covered all of them and all of them are true.
No, the limitation on the size is false.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Everyone, it was a great course.
Good luck. You're welcome. Thank you.
Which of the following is true for the underscore source name metadata tag? Name of the user-generated source category assigned at injection time, or name of the log file, including path where the log message came from, or name of the host where the log message came from, or name of the collector where the log message came from.
I'm sorry, was that a question about
Yeah.
log source?
Yeah.
Log source, look for the word path in the answer. That's the correct answer.
Thank you.
It's the file path. Yeah. And somebody was able to fill out the form. Yay! Some folks were not able to fill out that form, and I've asked them to send email to training with screen captures so we can share that with our team and fix that problem.
So
One quick question for the 1 minute increments when you're grouping incoming logs, do you use the code? Is it just called time slice 1 minute?
Yep, time slice 1M.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I'm done. Thank you.
Good job, Prasad.
Thank you. It was awesome course.
After executing a query, what does results 2404 under the histogram tell you?
The number of messages that you have received.
What is the order of this one? Install the Apache app, which provides out-of-the-box analytics for Apache app log, and start from the scratch querying, parsing, filtering, and charting your Apache logs, and search for the search org for any shared content that is already analyzing Apache logs.
So Indu, you're a new Sumo user and you want to see some information from your Apache environment, right? First thing you want to do is you want to check to see if you have any existing queries and or dashboards and or stuff. So you want to see if it's already there, it's already available to you.
Okay.
If not, then you can install the Apache app, which has a bunch of pre-built queries for you. And if that doesn't work, then you got to write your own queries. Does that help you answer the question?
Yes.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you. And for legacy dashboards are created in interactive mode, which requires user input in order to refresh. It's a true or false question. If you need your dashboard to constantly update, set them to live mode. True.
True.
Yes.
Thank you very, very much for the course and for all of your help. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Good luck. Thank you.
Hope to see you guys in the week ahead here. We got a couple more classes.
Thank you very much, John. Bye.
Thank you, John. Thanks, everyone. It was awesome.
Hey, John, Odell, it's Felicia again. Can you show me where I can view the historical CPU performance?
Metrics.
Yes. In metrics. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Prasanthia, you asked, when using Sumo Logic to monitor and troubleshoot metrics, help you identify what is going on, while logs tell you understand why. That statement is absolutely true. Logs will tell you why, metrics will tell you what is going on.
Quick question. After executing a query, what does results 2404 under histogram tells us? Is it the results returned, right?
Yeah, the count of the messages. That's correct.
Count of the messages.
And Prasanthia, based on that last question you put in the chat box, you want to make sure you're selecting prod. You want to make sure you're selecting my app. You want to make sure those things are in your query. So otherwise you'll get weird results.
Shri, that should be underscore source category.
Thank you.
And then for looking for the phrase process complete, that would be in double quotes because there's a space in between the word process and complete. So you're going to have a where clause, or are you going to put that as your, I'm sorry, keyword search, but you're going to have it inside double quotes. Shri, it's probably personal folder. Personal folder. Or it might also be in recents. I know what your choices are.
Okay, I have both personal and recent.
I would go with recent. I would go with recents.
All right, thank you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Good luck. Thanks, David.
Thanks, David. Corinthi, keyword searching allows you to look for a specific word. What is true about keyword searching is not case sensitive, it's case insensitive.
I think the number, the limitation to the 25 is false. There's no limit to the number of the size.
Good.
I think that's one of your choices.
And then parenthesis, I'm sorry, parenthesis, the answer there is true about the overlaying logs on top of metrics. It's true. So just make that easy for you.
I actually, last time you mentioned about invalid metadata tag. Just wondering, where do I get that information? The tags, metadata tags.
What are your choices? I think
Live tail, source category, source host, and collector.
Live tail is not
Live
a
tail.
metadata tag.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
One more question, sorry to bother. For a query visual graphic, is it latitude and longitude is given? Look up by latitude and longitude and count by latitude and longitude.
You will be able to generate a map. And Prasanthi, about the source name metadata tag, you want to look for an answer that has file path in it. File path, that's the correct answer.
So if you want the, sorry, if you want the incoming logs in 1 minute increment, do we use time slice, right?
Yep.
Correct.
What is not a way to create an additional log search? The choices are
There's a
home.
choice in there that talks about manage data, collectors, add query. That is not a valid choice.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Only using the app catalog, what actions can you take regarding a specific app? You cannot, you can install that app, but I don't believe you can delete it from the app catalog.
So when we are parsing the log messages, do we use split operator or parse anchor or XML operator or key value operator?
You can use any of those depending on what type of logs you're dealing with.
Okay.
So the trick is the answer that you're looking for. It says like you can use the parse anchor, but then it says about unpredictable log message.
Yes, patterns.
That's a false, unpredictable patterns. That's a false statement. That's the one that's the answer we want you to select.
Thank you.
So when you create an email alert for a query, which one of the items below may be enabled for inclusion? Here is the option. Live trail, pin, line graph, result set.
Result set. And again, that was result set if you didn't hear me. Just I apologize. I have the dog barking in the background.
Thank you for your help, gentlemen. I've passed and I will be logging off.
Good job, Maldonado.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I passed. Thank you.
That statement is true about the field browser. Clicking in the metadata, it displays the fields, the whole thing is true. So you're good to go. Shri, if you want to share a query in your personal folder, which of the following is not an access option? Read.
Read, right? Okay, got it. I just wanted to double check. Thank you.
No problem. And again, folks, if you get a chance in the chat box, if you just type in what question number you're on, just so we have an idea that you're working the exam. We've got about 16 people here. And I want to see if some people are probably just hanging out. So I don't need the question text. I just need to know what number you're at. So just making sure. We want to be here to help you if you're taking the test. If you're just kind of hanging out, consider closing up the classroom.
Okay, I just passed. What's the next step?
I'm sorry, Win?
I just passed. What is the next step now?
There's a link to a Google Forms that you can request your Uber Eats voucher.
And it's right there on the
it's in the chat.
In the chat. Okay. Thanks.
Shri, that statement is true.
False. Okay.
Odell just put the link to the Google Eats form in the chat box. Make it easy for you, William. Thank you, Philip. And again, folks, whenever you're done, when you're all done and stuff like that, feel free to sign out. Have yourselves a wonderful day. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow and or Thursday.
Okay, is anyone else still taking the exam? Please put in your number in the chat. The number that you're on in the question, Shri, of the 30 questions.
I'm just reviewing one more time. I'm almost done answering. True. Keyword searching allows you to look at the specific word in logs, which is true.
What are your choices there, Prasanthi?
Sorry. It says like keyword search allows to look in log messages, which is true. Keyword search is limited to 25 characters. That is false.
That's correct. That's false.
But it is looking for true. Which of the following is true? Keyword search allows only complete words, no wildcards. That is the answer.
That's false. You can use wildcards and
yes. Yeah. That is the one I picked. Yeah.
Percenti, that is false. The one that you put in there, unpredictable results will not allow you to do that. That's correct. Number one is false. You're welcome.
So one question, searches and dashboards can be shared with individual users, but not with group of users defined by the rule. That is false, right?
That's false, right? Remember, you can share
Yes.
with users, groups, and roles. That's correct.
Thanks a lot. I'm out. See you tomorrow.
All right, good job, William.
Prasanthia, the what you're looking for about the email alert is result set. The answer result set. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. You just
welcome.
completed the test. I appreciate your help.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
There's the link for the Uber Eats voucher as well.
So this certification, can we share it with our team company, or is
Yeah,
it identity?
Let me share it with you how you do that. Let me just
Okay.
So you're logged in your environment. And you'll see in the top right corner your profile icon.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You click on that. My profile, and then you should be able to see all the certifications. One other thing you can do is you can also add it to your LinkedIn.
Oh, okay, that's nice. So even if my trial expires, I should be able to still share. I took the trial one, trial version, 30 days. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Good job, Prasanthi. So I think that's everyone. Is everyone done taking the test? If not, please put your number in the chat, which number you're on the test. Otherwise, we'll be closing out the session. All right. Thanks, John.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful day.